Hi, I'm Malcolm Burrows, Principal of Dundas Lawyers. Dundas Lawyers is an award-winning commercial law firm working generally with businesses that are rich in intellectual property. We are unique in that we do both front-end advisory work and also vigorously litigate in our areas of practice. One of the things that sets Dundas Lawyers apart is that all of our lawyers have real-world business experience prior to being called to law. Clients tell us this gives us a unique commercial perspective. So in this video, I'll discuss early warning signs of shareholder oppression to look for when you're embarking on a new venture or buying into a more established entity. So just what is shareholder oppression? Shareholder oppression occurs when a majority of shareholders in a company, generally, misuse their powers to oppress minority shareholders. That said, the courts have determined that this oppression can also occur in situations where there is a 50-50 ownership of equity in the entity. So the first thing we look at to be considered in a case of shareholder oppression is the type of entity that's involved. The controls given to the different types of entities will vary depending on what we call the governing documents. So if the entity involved is a corporate trustee of a unit trust or an unlisted public company, the governing documents which create the obligations can be quite different. The results are the powers that a party can exercise are managed very differently, and how oppression therefore manifests will be different. Some of the key factors, or one of the first factors we look at, is relationship bias with professional advisors. A common thing we see is where one party creates a relationship with a professional advisor, such as lawyers and accountants, and uses that bias against the other party. So if the accountant or lawyer was instructed by a single shareholder or director, there is an obvious potential for bias because the other shareholder director is not aware of the instructions that were provided. So it's important that all shareholders involved in an entity's creation or management to avoid excessive control being vested in one person who instructs professional advisors. The next thing we see is making yourself redundant. Another warning sign is where people with skills that can be acquired becomes redundant. This commonly occurs where skills that are transferable are acquired by others, resulting in an imbalance of power and oppression. For example, a party that has a technical expertise such as online marketing that can be acquired or learned over time by a representative with an accounting or engineering qualification. It can mean that person can become redundant. In other words, it may lead to the classic phrase of "we don't need you anymore" in circumstances where a key person, that person was a key shareholder in the beginning. The next factor comes from economics, and it's called asymmetry of information, or the Lemon's principle. Information about a company's affairs is frequently used as an instrument of oppression. That said, it's possible to protect this at the early stages of a shareholding relationship by including certain contractual provisions in the governing documents that are not provided for in the Standard Form Constitution or the Corporations Act itself. This enables people to have, or key stakeholders to have direct access to information. The next thing we see is the non-flexible negotiator. In most business dealings, it's usual for the parties to engage in negotiations and engage in a bit of give and take. It may seem trite to have to mention it, however, one of the warning signs we see frequently is when an oppressor is not flexible at all. Not at all. And somehow they've masked this early on, and because under the whatever guise we don't know. So the earlier you pick up what a non-flexible negotiator and seek to address the fact that they're completely unwilling to engage in any give and take, the better. These are some of the warning signs we see in shareholder oppression matters. So if you're looking for a savvy law firm with real-world business experience to assist with a shareholder dispute or an issue of shareholder oppression, please don't hesitate to contact me on 3221 0013 for an obligation-free and confidential discussion. Thanks for watching this video on signs to watch out for in shareholder oppression. Thank you.